Hello everyone and welcome back to Goalie Hub, and as you can tell from the thumbnail and the title of this video, in today's video I will be going on Tiermaker.com, which if you guys don't know what that is, it's basically a website you can go on and rank, basically anything you want, which is pretty cool. But I will be going on there and ranking NHL Goalie Tandems. I have 5 tiers set up here. I have the elite tier, good tier, average tier, below average tier, and bad tier. I will be going through each team and putting them in one of these tiers. First off, before we get going, I want to give a shout out to Gavin S, who commented on one of my videos about a month ago, giving a similar idea to this, saying, would you be up to doing rankings of teams' goaltending situations? So I'm kind of doing that here, so yeah, shout out to Gavin S. And second of all, if you are new to the channel and love goalie discussion videos, then be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications to get notified whenever I upload a brand new video. So let's get right into this. So starting off with the St. Louis Blues, Jordan Binnington and Jake Allen. Both goalies played really well last season, and overall I really like this tandem. So right off the bat, I'm going to throw the Blues in the good tandem. Alright, moving on to the Detroit Red Wings with Jonathan Bernier and Jimmy Howard. Bernier actually did surprisingly quite well. He did pretty well considering he was on the Detroit Red Wings, and Jimmy Howard really did not have a good year. He had a goals against average of above 4, I believe, which is very bad. I think without a doubt they're in the bad tier. Moving on to the Calgary Flames with Cam Talbot and David Rittich. I overall really like that Cam Talbot had a bounce back season, and he's been really good in the playoffs so far. David Rittich was really hot to start, and then he cooled off by the end of the season. Overall, I think I'm going to throw Calgary in the average tier. Moving on to the Carolina Hurricanes, Peter Mrazek and James Reimer. I like James Reimer. I like him that he had I like that he had a bounce back season. Overall, and Peter Mrazek, he wasn't too bad. He did take a step back. So I think overall this tandem is just average. Moving on to the Chicago Blackhawks with Corey Crawford and Malcolm Subban. Malcolm Subban, I don't really know where he stands, honestly. He's not too bad of a backup, but he's not too good either. He's more just average. Corey Crawford, on the other hand, is still a very reliable goaltender. I don't know if I'm going to put this in the good tier, though. I think for now, I'm going to throw Chicago in the average tier. Moving on to the Tampa Bay Lightning with Andrei Vasilevskiy and Curtis McElhinney. Vasilevskiy, of course, had another really good season, and McElhinney had he had a solid enough year as Tampa Bay's backup. I'm going to throw Tampa Bay, without a doubt. They should be in the good tier. Moving on to the Edmonton Oilers with Mikko Koskinen and Mike Smith. Both goalies were kind of shaky at points in the season and a little bit inconsistent, and that might have cost the Oilers at least a game or two, or even the series for their qualifying round that they lost to the Chicago Blackhawks. I don't think it's a great tandem. I don't think it's necessarily bad, so I'm going to throw the Edmonton Oilers in average. Moving on to the San Jose Sharks with Martin Jones and Aaron Dell. And personally, I don't mind Martin Jones. I really wish he could, maybe find his form again like he was, in 2016, play like that. Unfortunately, he just has been very inconsistent and just not really that good over the past few seasons, and Aaron Dell has been the same way, so I'm going to throw San Jose in below average. Moving on to the Philadelphia Flyers with Carter Hart and Brian Elliott. Carter Hart had a really good season, in my opinion. He's one of the best up-and-coming goalies in the NHL, and Brian Elliott wasn't too bad. He wasn't really great either, but I was debating this for a little bit before making this video. I'm going to throw Philadelphia in the good tier. Moving on to the Los Angeles Kings with Jonathan Quick and Cal Peterson. Overall, I honestly don't mind Jonathan Quick. He's definitely, obviously, not as good as he used to be, say, in 2012, 2013, 2014 in his prime. But he also is playing in front of a not-so-good defense. And Cal Peterson, I don't mind him. I think he has something to show at the NHL level. But for now, we're going to throw LA in the below-average tier. Moving on to the Ottawa Senators with Craig Anderson, Marcus Högberg, and even Anders Nielsen. All 3 goalies were more just average or below average this season. Nobody really stood out to me. And mostly for that reason, we're going to throw them in the below average tier, which kind of makes sense since they're a rebuilding squad. Moving on to my favorite team, the Toronto Maple Leafs. By the way, I'm really hyped for tonight. It's the Game 5 versus Columbus. Go Leafs go. Freddie Anderson and Jack Campbell. I really liked Campbell's play when he got to play a few games before the pandemic and everything that happened. All started up. Freddie Anderson, we know what he is. He's a reliable number 1. He did take a step back this season a little bit, but he is a reliable goalie, so we're going to put Toronto in the good tier, as Campbell's obviously a huge upgrade over Michael Hutchinson or even Garrett Sparks. Moving on to the Anaheim Ducks. John Gibson and Ryan Miller, both goalies had a very average season, which makes sense since Anaheim is kind of rebuilding, so they don't have a very good team in front of Gibson and Miller. John Gibson, obviously at his best, can be a Vezina caliber goaltender. Right now, though, I think I'm going to throw this in the average tier. Maybe if the Ducks had a better team, Gibson's numbers were maybe better, even Miller's numbers, although Miller is 40 years old, I think, right now. Then they might be higher. But yeah, scream at me in the comments. New York Rangers with Shesterkin, Georgiev, and Lundqvist. Poor Lundqvist, man. I hope he can get a cup. Please don't retire. Just play a couple more seasons, honestly. But all 3 goalies had a, decent / average season. Obviously, Shesterkin was really good with a .932 save percentage, I believe, but it was only 12 games played. Next season, I think he could really break out. But as for now, I'm going to throw them in the average tier. Moving on to the Arizona Coyotes with Darcy Kemper and Antti Raanta. This is probably my favorite goalie tandem in the league, as Darcy Kemper was absolutely lights out in their series against the Predators. Huge reason why they're in the playoffs, the official playoffs, for the first time since 2012. And Antti Raanta is also very good. Both goalies had a save percentage above .920 this season, so for that reason, I'm going to throw them in the elite tier. Moving on to the Capitals with Samsonov and Holtby. Holtby's really struggled since he won the Cup. He had an .899 save percentage this year. I'm a little concerned, honestly. Samsonov was pretty good in his rookie NHL season. For now, I think I'm going to throw Washington in the average tier. For the Vancouver Canucks with Markstrom and Demko, Markstrom honestly was really good this season. He stole the Canucks quite a few games and was lights out in the series against the Minnesota Wild. As for Thatcher Demko, he had a fairly average season. He's still young, so he's a lot of potential. And for that reason, I think right now, I'm going to throw them in the good tier. Pittsburgh Penguins recently got eliminated by the Habs. That's just a big oof. Tristan Jarry and Matt Murray. Murray had a bad season, but he's been very good before. Tristan Jarry has been very good this season, and some of you guys might hate me for this, but I'm throwing them in the good tier. Definitely one of the more controversial ones. Moving on to the Florida Panthers with Sergei Bobrovsky and Chris Driedger. I really loved Driedger's game when he got called up. As for Bobrovsky, he's really, I don't know, he really wasn't very good in his first year of his huge mega contract, which is a little concerning for the Florida Panthers. So for now, I'm putting them in the average tier. Winnipeg Jets, we're moving on to them. They have Connor Hellebuyck and Laurent Brossoit. I really love Hellebuyck. He did .922 save percentage in front of a not so good defense, which is very impressive. Honestly, Hellebuyck for Vezina all the way. Hellebuyck's a beast. Brossoit was, good when he had to be, so we're throwing them in the good tier. New Jersey Devils, Mackenzie Blackwood and Corey Schneider. Schneider played a bit in the AHL this season. I actually got to see a game, because I went to a Marlies game. I got to see Schneider play live, and he looked decent, honestly. I really wish Schneider could really return to form, but I really like Mackenzie Blackwood. I think Blackwood's done very well. He had a really good season. I think right now, though, we're going to put New Jersey in the average tier. Moving on to the Buffalo Sabres with Allmark and Hutton. Honestly, Carter Hutton really fell off a bit this season, and even last season he wasn't too good either. That's a little concerning for Sabres fans. As for Allmark, he's honestly a huge bright spot in net. He had a really good season this year as a number 1, and I really love Linus Allmark, so we're putting them in the average tier for now. I thought about below average, but I think average is fair enough. Moving on to the Dallas Stars with Ben Bishop and Anton Khudobin. I love both of these goalies. Anton Khudobin's really settled in ever since he signed with the Dallas Stars, I think a couple seasons ago. And obviously Ben Bishop is Ben Bishop. He's the Vezina caliber goaltender. He's been a Vezina finalist. I don't know how many times. The dude's gotten snubbed from the Vezina. I don't know how many times. I really want him to win a Vezina at some point in his career. And, both goalies can steal you games, so we're going to throw them in the elite tier. Moving on to the Boston Bruins. We'll do Boston Bruins. Why not? Yaroslav Halak as the backup and Tuukka Rask as the starter. Obviously, Tuukka Rask is one of the best goalies in the NHL. He's been very good, and unfortunately, he could have been a Leaf. But, we all know the Rask for Raycroft trade. If you're a Leafs fan, that's, really gives you nightmares. But anyways, Rask is a Vezina finalist. Obviously, he's very good, and Yaroslav Halak has been a very good, very reliable backup to Rask. He's shown he's still a very capable NHL goaltender. Both goalies are very good. throwing Boston in the elite tier. Vegas Golden Knights. With Robin Lehner, newly acquired at the trade deadline, and we got Marc-Andre Fleury as well. Fleury's fallen off a little bit. I think he had a .905 save percentage this season. He's still, he's still Marc-Andre Fleury. He's still capable of being pretty good. And Robin Lehner, of course, he's Robin Lehner. He's really turned his career around the past couple of seasons, and I really like Robin Lehner's game. So we're throwing them in the elite tier. That's another team up there at the top tier. We only got 6 teams left. Here's the Columbus Blue Jackets with Elvis Merzlikins and Jonas Korpisalo. Both goalies were a pleasant surprise, and I'll give credit to myself since I predicted that Merzlikins would have a save percentage of above .920, finish top 5 in caller voting. And I also said that Merzlikins would help Columbus be in playoff contention. All 3 of them happened. So credit to myself. I did that on Instagram back in, I think, September. So yeah, I overall like both goalies. I like both of their games. Both goalies have been solid. Even in the qualifying rounds, when one sort of started to struggle, the other one's taken over. And it'll be interesting to see how Korpisalo plays tonight against the Leafs, because I believe Korpisalo got the start, or is getting the start. So I'm going to throw Columbus in the good tier. Avalanche, Grubauer and Francouz. Francouz had a really good rookie NHL season, and Grubauer's shown he can be a #1 goalie. And I don't know, I don't have much else to say. I'm trying to make this quick because I don't want this video to be super long. So I like both goalies, they're going in the good tier. Nashville Predators with UC Saros and Pekka Rinne. I think they're honestly, the starting job in net is really being handed over to UC Saros. Rinne kind of struggled this season. Saros was decent. I'm not going to say this is a very good tandem just yet, but it has the potential to be better. But for now, I'm throwing Nashville in the average tier. The New York Islanders with Thomas Greiss and Semyon Varlamov. Both goalies played very well, probably benefiting from Barry Trotz's defensive style of play for his team. So, yeah, both goalies are capable of winning hockey games, and that's what matters the most. So we're putting them in the good tier. 2 teams left. The Montreal Canadiens, led by Carey Price. He somehow turned back the clock to 2015 in these qualifiers against Pittsburgh. He was lights out. Overall, though, the past few seasons have been very average, very pedestrian for Price, and I'm not going to base this ranking solely off of 4 games of Carey Price playing very well. Their backup, Charlie Lindgren, has been not very good. They haven't really been able to find a good backup. So right now, we're putting Montreal in the average tier. I know some people are definitely going to complain in the comments about that one. Last team, the Minnesota Wild, Devin Dubnyk and Alex Stalock. Stalock played pretty decent this season. Dubnyk kind of struggled. I think, honestly, goaltending cost the Wild a few wins this season that could have been crucial to the Wild maybe being up there in the standings. So we're going to put them in the average tier, I think. So that is my final ranking, guys. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. And if you want to see me do more rankings like this on Tiermaker, then comment down below what I should rank next. Maybe like goalie prospects or something like that. I don't know. But comment it down below of what I should rank. Also, if you enjoyed the video, then be sure to smash that like button, and if you're new to the channel and love goalie discussion videos and just hockey in general, then please subscribe to the channel. I love all the support you guys give me, and thank you guys for recently hitting 150 subs. Hopefully we can get to 200 very soon. And you should also follow me on Instagram. It's at @goalie_hub. There will be a link down below in the description, as I usually post some extra updates and extra goalie content on there. But anyways, that's the end of the video, so see you guys later.